Hi, Michal. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
Let's start off and hear your current role, current organization, and what is it all about?
Sure. So I am VP Marketing at Akuda. We are an enterprise search solution. So we sit on top of all of the tools that companies are already using and allow their teams to ask any questions. So, for example, we're doing this on Zoom, but it could have been on Meet or any other platform. It could have been a conversation, it could have been Slack. So when you want to ask a question about something, you don't want to remember what platform you were doing it on to begin with. You just want to ask a question. So you want to find a document, you want to understand, context, you want to understand everything you've been doing about a certain topic, what people are working on, any question. So we integrate with, dozens of the most popular SaaS tools and just ask any question and you can get the answer immediately.
What brought you to marketing in the tech world?
Oh, okay. So I live in Israel and high tech here is really a powerful industry, super innovative and growing and exciting. And I guess I like technology. I like being on the cutting edge. I like learning things. So it's just been a fun place to have my career.
Have you worked in any other verticals, or has it primarily been tech marketing throughout your career?
So it's been tech, but within tech, it's been lots of different kinds of products. So I've done project management and BI and now enterprise search, video technologies. So my core has always been online digital marketing, but lots of different, types of tools.
So when we're thinking about marketing plans specifically in the tech world, where I know in Israel, B2B is huge in the tech world, what are some marketing strategies that you've been seeing that have been fruitful and been working really well over the past year?
So it's actually very interesting because I feel like a lot of those things that we got very used to, let me speak for myself, or, that I've gotten very used to as being my core foundations, go-tos for, growth marketing strategies. A lot of them are not performing the way they used to, right? I think that, paid media prices have gone up, the click-throughs are different, tracking is different.
It's been
That
a different beast since iOS 14.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Now, SEO is completely changing with AI happening and the need to optimize for different things. Email marketing is super challenging. I mean, basically everything that was like the foundation. And then, we had events, which was like always a go-to, and then we have Corona and no one's going to events. So, I think that what works is being nimble. I think that's what works. And always being able to keep your finger on the pulse and try different things. And when things fail, knowing when to say, I'm giving up on that, or let's keep trying it a different way. So there's certain things like, for example, email marketing, or outbound marketing, however, different people call it different things. We have found it to be a really successful channel for us, and people are opening emails less, they're engaging with emails less, but the leads that we get through those are converting at a really high level. So it's a channel where you could say it's, constantly trying to make sure that your delivery performance is good and that you're not getting blacklisted. It's never ending chaos. But for us, it's a really good delivery of leads and of deals. So that is one. But with also, I'm sure we're going to be talking about AI, how that brings in a whole nother
Right.
level of complexity and intrigue. Um, with all the new tools out there, we have found that both events, I would say events are still a core, and email marketing are the ones that we always have as part of our pillars.
Do you have any advice on your email marketing outbound campaigns of how you're getting through the clutter? I mean, I probably get 20 spam
For sure.
emails a day and I don't just I just go right to spam, unsubscribe. So how do you cut through the noise and actually get people to open your inbox and follow your call to action?
So, I mean, it is. Sometimes it amazes me when people respond. I'm like,
Do you
But
get
they
some pretty
do.
nasty ones every once in a while?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are also like some people who have like these long, I'm sure it's like, they just paste it to everyone who spams them, but like these like email, yeah, those are entertaining. Okay, so what has worked? I would say it's a combination of two things. One is multi-touch. So also being on LinkedIn, also calling, also, having not depending only on email, making that part of your sequence. That's part of it. Humor is another one. We actually had one campaign that was you couldn't believe how successful it was. Now, unfortunately, images are also harder and harder to send. And so we're finding that one campaign, which was like our golden campaign, is also performing less well. Or we had to change it because we had to stop delivering images. But we had one campaign with like a goofy dog, like the most goofy dog, and saying, my dog couldn't believe that you didn't respond to my email. You do not understand how many people responded to that email. Like, oh my God, that dog is so cute. Book me a meeting. Like, and those actually converted down the road. Like, it wasn't just like, the goofy people who responded or, send me a picture of a cat, like, a goofy cat next. Just hilarious. So I think that there are still ways to get there, being innovative and multi-touch. I think those are the two that we are keeping. I mean, I'm saying as a baseline, make sure your delivery, your email, what's the word I'm looking for? All of the delivery numbers are looking right, and that you're constantly rotating and making sure you don't have spam words. Like I'm assuming that that is covered as a baseline. Above that, you have to be creative and do multi-touch.
I haven't done a number crunch on our end, but if I peeled back the curtain of how we get people to appear on our podcast, where we do an email followed with a LinkedIn message, and if I were to compare it, I mean, my LinkedIn inbox is crowded every single day with people responding back, and I would say it's if I were to gut reaction is probably a 10-to-1 difference of people responding on LinkedIn being open to appear on the podcast versus just the straight email reach out to folks. So
Yeah.
definitely need to reach out to people with multiple touch points. And I think the LinkedIn element, probably you've seen this too, just humanizes you a little bit more as they can see your profile, they can see, you're a real human being and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to hear around how AI has been changing your focused marketing. I just want to, as it's such a hot topic right now, how has AI been impacting search? You mentioned that for a hot second, and it's been something I've just been curious about. That's never been my background, SEO, but I'd love to hear just how you're thinking about AI and how it's impacting SEO.
So I think this is something that Google just released this week. So I don't know that I know how it's going to roll out or, what the final
Well, by the time this gets published, Google will probably have another algorithm update. So this might be outdated anyways in a week. But as of,
could be.
January, I'd love to hear the status of the union.
Yeah, we can do you can call me back and we can have an update. So what I understand from my SEO guy, and honestly, I've left a bit of the research up to him because it's impossible to follow Google's constant updates. But what he was saying is that they're going to be limiting access to Google indexing, I want to say. Maybe I'm not using the right words, but it's going to be like JavaScript scanning instead. Oh, I feel like I'm not saying the right words. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly. I have it here. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, here we go. So what he said is that Google disallowed HTML crawling and is switching to JS crawling. And what that means is that we're going to have to start optimizing for AI and for SEO separately. That we're not going to be able to optimize for the specific keywords for search. Like we're going to have to start thinking about how people are using keywords in search and what they're looking for in AI. So theoretically, that means, first of all of the tools that we've used are defunct and we're going to have to, everyone's going to have to be updating everything. And it also means that we're now going to have double optimization, which theoretically could mean twice as much work. Like, again, this is all just dropping now. And so we're going
Right.
to have to see how this rolls out and boils down, but it's a big, big change. Like Google has been threatening, I guess, for a while. And my understanding, this is like a big one right now.
Mhm. Are there any AI tools you see yourself using the most, either as an individual in your spare time or in the context of work, whether it's LLMs or standalone AI software?
Yeah. So we are in order to keep the email delivery high, we're using Clay to be able to enrich emails with personalized information into emails. Um, Clay is super interesting. I saw they just raised a ton of money. They deserve it. They're an incredible tool. If anyone has not tried them, highly recommended. Um, as a marketer and someone who has worked in tech a while, and I'm pretty comfortable in most of my platforms, I found it a little bit daunting to be running my own Clay campaigns. I'm using an agency for that, and they are really able to make customize based on so many different factors, and it's really impressive. And that for sure helps delivery rates because then every email is unique.
Mhm.
So Clay is a big one. Um, I myself, because I do a lot of my writing, I'm definitely using, I right now am using Gemini a lot to just help with different ways of saying the same thing, different way, if I'm working on website content, then how can I say it a little bit differently? How can I stay in this tone of voice? How can I, freshen things up? Also in the product marketing assets that I'm working on, anything that's going to customers. So I'm definitely using Gemini a lot. I tried using some of the um, marketing LLM kind of products. I'm not going to necessarily name names because I wasn't overly impressed. I found them to be very cookie cutter and not human sounding and not like if you're using like if you wanted to do a blog post, then this is how they format a blog post. It looks like this heading, to me that wasn't enough flexibility. So I'm not actually using any of those off-the-shelf ones. I just go with Gemini and it makes me happy.
I'm a Gemini person as well. I also pay so much for the Google Workspace account, just trying to take advantage of the free tool, or not
Yeah,
free, but instead of another, LLM subscription. So to wrap this up, if someone wants to follow up with you, learn more about your organization, can you share any links, social media handles, email addresses? What's the best way to learn more?
sure. We are akuda.io and my
And can you
email
spell that out for us too, please?
AK, yeah, sure. Akooda, akuda.io. And my email is Michal at Michal at Akuda. And my first and last name, I don't know if you're going to be posting it like this. That's my LinkedIn. It's a little bit hard to spell. So
And it's
um,
Wachstock, if anyone's listening to the audio.
exactly. Michal Wachstock. Two CHs each pronounced differently.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much. It was fun.
Before we jump into our next guest, we want to take a moment to tell you about our marketing mastermind cohort, No Typical Marketers. If you are a marketing executive looking to connect with like-minded professionals, this is the space for you. It's more than just a Discord group. It's your exclusive ticket to monthly roundtable meetings where we have group discussions about advanced marketing strategies, share insights, and solve real world challenges like implementing AI agents into your marketing. Membership is exclusive and by application only. If you're ready to take your marketing game to the next level, apply now using the link in the description below. We can't wait to see you there. Now, back to the episode. Hi, Shai. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Hey Andrew, good to be speaking with you too.
So, like we talked about before, I actually hit record. You've had a lot going on in the business world in the last handful of months, and I'd love for you just to share, high level, the company you're at, your role, and I know there's been a recent acquisition, not merger, correct?
Yep.
And just how that's been shaping up with the joining of two brands or more brands. I don't
So
know how many was involved in it, but just how things have been shaken up recently.
so you're accurate, two brands. I've been doing marketing for the past 13 years of my life. Joined an AI startup well before the buzz that's called Aporia to lead the go-to-market efforts from the marketing perspective, marketing side of things, about 2.5 years ago. After doing a solid amount of time consulting, it was a hard decision crossing the line here, but AI seemed magical to me.
And
so
this is before ChatGPT came
before
out?
ChatGPT came out, we're talking mid-2022. The AI that was out there was basically recommender systems model, pricing models. Like these are all very classic AI modules well before the buzz. So I've joined Aporia as the VP of marketing and took charge of everything related to go-to-market. And yeah, we've had a hell of a run. I think that the last 2 years around AI were crazy. A lot of learning, a lot of experience in short amount of time. And about exactly a month ago, we were acquired by Coralogix, which is another Israeli startup, big one, 450 people, 70% growth year over year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a player in the observability domain, but we have something different to offer now. Leveraging everything that we've learned, all the experience we've had with Aporia, could be an interesting in full sale, and something that could really make a difference in the old observability market.
So after the acquisition, what does the day-to-day life of Shai look like in marketing now?
So I think that when your company is acquired, it could go to multiple directions, especially as a marketer. Usually companies are acquiring other companies because of the IP, the engineering, the highly talented engineering team, and we still have a very talented engineering team. But Coralogix has decided to acquire us as a company as a whole, and I think that it's a very good sign that what we've done was interesting and still is. So we've joined as a complete unit to Coralogix. My marketing team is still with me side by side, shoulder to shoulder.
Awesome.
And
They all came over.
They all came over.
Awesome.
And I think that it's interesting because you're a company that operates within a company, and currently what we're focusing on is implementing what we've had, the story we've had, the capabilities we've had, and the go-to-market motion we've had within Coralogix, which is interesting and challenging.
Can you expand upon a little of some go-to-market strategies that have proven to be successful for you over the years?
So I think that if I'm doubling down on Aporia and my experience there, the market itself might be the hardest market that I ever had a chance to acquire. Developers. Developers are a horrible target for a marketeer because their whole decision-making process is completely different. So
very analytical.
A lot of this, very analytical, very factual. They're the single audience, the only audience that I had a chance to advertise to, which were not ROI-driven or fear-driven. Like if you're targeting to a marketeer, to a fellow marketeer, or to a salesperson, you can easily tell them, listen, if you'll buy this for $1,000 and you get $5,000, you're ROI positive. And the decision-making process of a logical human being, not an engineer, okay, so if all the engineers that are listening, sounds good, let's buy it. Cyber, similar but different. If you wouldn't have this piece of software, you could be damaged in a way that will cause you to pay up thousands of dollars of paybacks, or get lawsuited by even more. But engineers are wired completely different because their method of thinking is, I can build this. I don't need this. I can build this.
My wife's an
Uh,
engineer, so you're speaking directly to her heart right now.
I can build this. What's so different about you? So it's a sarcastic audience, and I've had a lot of fun trying to learn and experience how to interact and how to engage them in a way that will trigger them to action. And to your question, after having this very long prologue, um, I think that we've performed um, interesting ABM methods, but things that are below the buzz, because ABM is a buzzword now. We were trying to be very focused about the prospect, their needs, their pains from an analytical perspective, like trying to analyze signals that would tell us that this prospect might be relevant for what we're trying to say. Then the messaging, and then the interaction itself, trying to create the crack creatives that are not markety or salesy,
Right.
which are common terms within any SaaS startup that's selling to developers. So
Is there
this was
anything innovative in those go-to-market plans that, if you were going to brag on yourself for a moment, that you feel like were very innovative of your approach to this?
so so I'm not a bragger, but I think that
I'll put a humble brag in front of it.
a humble brag. Okay, beautiful. So if we're speaking humble brags, then I think that what we've accomplished in the past year is being able to target a very specific person. So I think that now, especially using AI, and I'm talking about AI as a user, not as a marketeer that sells AI products or AI reliability solutions. Um, AI would enable us in a matter of a year, not more, to be very, very personalized about the prospect, our product, and how does it solve their pain, or how does it bring them value. And what we've accomplished during the past year, 2024, is creating a very healthy flow of collecting signals of people who are interested in what we're doing. We've used tremendous tools that are still early in market, like RailDev, which is an ABM platform for developers that triggered a signal for us whenever someone styled a GitHub repo of our competitors or of an alternative open source solution. This created a flow within HubSpot that notified us of this engagement. We've created a personalized content specifically for them, and we've used either sequences from either the founder or the co-founder, or one of the BDRs that pretended to be one of these two, and persona-based marketing systems like Influ2 that targeted specifically this person. So it's thinking of scale when marketing to developers is not easy, especially as a startup that doesn't have a lot of budget. But we've tried to create a very personalized story that would intrigue the person on the other side that has issues. Like they have problems. They're human beings after all. Just realizing what are the core problems and trying to speak in a language that suits their day-to-day was not easy. But we've accomplished great things as a team, and I'm very proud of what we've done.
Was that level of personalization possible before AI, or could you personalize, but instead of, like, I'm just making this up, 50 going out in a day, maybe 10 could, because it just was so time intensive to be that personal with outreach?
So I've seen a lot. I'm in this industry for a quite long amount of time. And I think that we went through several cycles of buzzwords in marketing in general. So we were talking ABM. ABM was massive, I don't know, like 2-3 years ago. beforehand we've had segments. So let's segmentize the audience. But even if you and I were trying to segment an audience of 1,000 people, it would be extremely difficult because people are different by default. The only two things that were missing 5 years ago were the ability to analyze information quickly and to an enormous amount of data. We were required to have like the best data scientists and the best engineers and the best, which are expensive resources for a company to have. So this was the first missing piece. And the second missing piece is the automation, being able to automate according to the data that you have, content that would be suitable with Shai, with Andrew, with Katie, with each and every one of these people within the group of 1,000. So these two barriers are broken. Gen AI had brought us the capability of both analyzing enormous amounts of data to a granular level of a person's needs. And on the other hand, we also have the ability to tailor messaging specifically to the problem that they have. So these two changes in our industry is nothing like we've seen before. And we've had digital marketing 15 years ago, and then we've had GDPR in Europe about 7-8 years ago kicking off and making things a bit more complicated. But if you look back at marketing, and that's my genuine belief, it's all about the customer. Technologies and methodologies have changed and still changing and will change also in the future. But we're trying to understand what the customer needs, what are his problems. How can I communicate my solution in a way that will be perceived as a reasonable solution for his problem? And AI is an enormous change in the marketing industry, in a lot of industries, but in the marketing industry, it's a matter of a year, I think, that the golden standard of marketing will be risen to a persona level.
So my last question, I love it. And my last question today, if there's any specific AI tools that you want to reference that you see yourself using frequently, whether that's as an individual or in the business world, love for you to share any AI tools you love.
So AI tools, I have a list. First of all, I think the obvious answer to this question is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is tremendous. It solves a lot of problems. I think that all about when we're thinking about planning and marketing, having this interaction, this discussion with the agent, training him to behave as our prospect, and having Q&As with them. This is powerful, not only to create content, but building. I have an AI agent. It's free. It's not. It's $20, but it's not a lot of money. Like a startup can handle it.
Right.
We've built an AI agent of our prospect, of the ideal customer for us, and frequently we're having conversations with them as a marketing team.
So you're going through simulations with it to practice?
Does it suit
awesome.
Does it suit your need? What do you think about this creative? This creative is horrible. It's too marketing. Good. Okay, we have something to work with. This engagement level could enable us to be a better marketeers. So this is ChatGPT, but in an interesting way. And another solution, and I rarely recommend the tools when I have this types of conversations, but very interesting company. They're called Unified GTM, Unified Go-to-Market. Mm-hmm. And they're doing something special because they have the ability to analyze people who visit your website, but just analyzing people who visit your website is
so more sophisticated than like a Hotjar, if you're familiar with that technology.
Exactly. Exactly,
Okay.
but it's not analyzing the behavior of them. It's analyzing who they are. So they have a
Gotcha.
de-anonymization process that turns a visitor into a person. But this is not enough because just reaching out to people who visit your website is not efficient. They have an AI engine that you can tell them how you'd like your audience to be filtered. So from the people who visit my website, find the engineers, find the ones that has more than 5 years of experience, and create an outbound sequence according to the content that they consumed on the website.
Very cool.
So we've talked a little bit.
I'm gonna have to write this down. You said unified unifygtm.com.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Cool startup. Their founder is awesome. He writes great content on LinkedIn, by the way. So follow the guy. I think that this really connects the dots of segmentation, signals, being attentive to what your customer is doing in his behavior, to a personalized interaction that actually tells your story, suits their problems. It's a great tool, and I think that it kind of connects everything that we've discussed upon the podcast up until now.
Perfect, Shai. So can you round out and just share ways to follow up with you, your organization, for more information?
Definitely. So past aporia.com, now I'm a part of Coralogix.
And can you spell that out too?
Coralogix, it's Coralogix. Coralogix. My name is Shai Alani. It's ShaiAlani. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not posting as much as I should. Maybe it will change in the upcoming future. I think I have more to share now, having all of these insights around AI. But that's that. Or you'll invite me again to your podcast for a second round. Who knows?
I've only had one repeat guest, so we can definitely make that happen. But Shai, it was great speaking with you today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I've had a lot of fun.